YouTube, it's your boy fplcommunity, and I'm back here with a brand new video. It's been a minute since I last uploaded a video, but there was an international break for 2 weeks. I personally focused on myself, took a bit of a break from FPL, just want to focus on life. Did a lot of fasting during Ramadan, as you guys know, and I also celebrated Eid yesterday. So for those who did celebrate Eid Mubarak to you. So yeah, FPL is back. Without further ado, let's dive into my Game Week 29 team review, as well as my Game Week 30 team selection. I'm also going to be covering my chip strategy, as well as potentially a Wildcard 30, which may be or may not be active for myself. So without further ado, let's dive in. So there you have it. Your boy had a nice little green arrow in Game Week 29, which was a blank game week, by the way. If you guys were following me, you would know that I have been planning to navigate this game week back in from I think from Game Week 24, since it was announced that we may get a blank in 29. So the team did quite well. I mean, starting off with Raya and Gabriel, double Arsenal defense, clean sheets. Quite pleased with that. You also have my new transfer, which was the Elanga move that I did last week. That paid off massively, huge differential, only 7.2% owned in the top 10k. Gave me 16 points, 2 goals. Did not expect that. I was more like anticipating maybe 1 goal, potentially an assist. But to get 16 points from Elanga is huge. I know there was a bit of a dilemma between Hudson-Odoi or Elanga. I personally myself was always preferring Elanga due to my eye test. When I did watch him, I thought he was more involved and he was getting into favorable positions. And then you got Bowen. He's just ticking along nicely, to be honest, just an assist. And same with Mbima, another assist and clean sheet point. Overall, quite happy with the team. I did bring in Haaland, as I said, for his 7-pointer. Do I regret it? Slightly, but at the same time, there was no other clear alternative. But as you guys know, he just got injured in the FA Cup. I kind of regret it, to be fair. I didn't want to go there to begin with. If Cunha was available, I would have gone there. But at the end of the day, he did get a return. On the other hand, Marmoush, those who weren't there, he got 12 points, I think. So it could be a bit of a big swing. But still, I captained him. On paper, he did seem like the best captain. It paid off. Quite happy with that. Wood blanking, though, it did help me because in the top 10k, he's quite highly owned and he was captained by a lot of people. So if he did get anything, he would have hurt me more than to help me. And then Greaves, you guys would probably think that he didn't even start the game, but he did actually start. But he got 0 points. I didn't expect much from him, but he did get subbed in the 45th minutes when they considered like 3 goals in the first half. Disappointed with Hoyson since I bought him in my team. He hasn't really delivered. Got nothing from him so far. Just 1-pointers after 1-pointers every week. Yeah, not too pleased with him, to be fair. Same with Nico Williams. I'm quite happy with him, but he did end up conceding to Ipswich. So again, it is what it is. A lot of people did have double Forest defense, so I'm not too mad. To get a green arrow in a blank game week, still quite pleased, to be fair. Now let's move on to my game week 30 team selection. So there you have it. This is how your boy lining up with Raya, Gabriel, Hoyson, and Nico Williams at the back. Double Arsenal defense, not ideal versus Fulham, which is a bit of a bogey team for them. They do end up considering them a lot of the time. And you got Hoyson with Ipswich at home, good fixture. But again, Zabani is injured. I think he went for an MRI. If Zabani is not there, who's the starting centre back, are they going to likely to keep a clean sheet? Recently, they haven't. Not too keen on him either. And then you got Nico Williams, Manchester United at home. All right fixture, but still United score. I'm not too keen on my defense, to be fair. Like, I would have really loved to have Trent there. Everton at home, clean sheet booked. Potential attack and return as well, but he's injured. Same with Chris Wood. I would have liked to start him out of Mbimo, who does play Newcastle away. Tough fixture, to be fair. Otherwise, yeah, team looks okay. Like midfield, like you got Salah, Elanga, Cliver, and Bowen. Bowen and Cliver does really good fixture. Elanga has he's playing his former team. He could definitely do well there. Salah as well. I mean, he's potentially captaincy now due to Haaland being injured. If you guys didn't watch the FA Cup, Haaland did pick up an injury versus Bournemouth, where he did have an ankle sprain and he went out on crutches, so he's probably out for Leicester. It just sucks because I actually bought him to captain him for that fixture specifically, and that became a flop. So yeah, I wasn't too keen on him to begin with, and now that he's injured, yeah, I'll have to address that issue because I have no one else coming off the bench. Like Wood is injured, Trent is injured, so I have to deal with Haaland. Perhaps the wildcard time is now, so we're going to be looking at whether if I choose to transfer at Haaland or just activate the wildcard, as we do know what the fixtures are going to be likely in Game Week 30 due to the FA Cup results. So without further ado, let's look at potential transfer plans as well as in a wildcard draft for Game Week 30. So if I was to make a transfer this week, I'll most likely make to Haaland, to Marmoush, or Isak. The Isak route, and that allows me to save a transfer next week, where I'll definitely want to get Isak because he's got Leicester, as well as the fact that he's doubling in 32. So it's a transfer booked in. Either I get him this week or next week, I'll be getting him in regardless. And obviously, I keep my options open, whether to wildcard 30, 31 or not, or later down the line. but I do not see the benefit, in wildcarding later down the line. So I'll most likely activate the wildcard this week and save a transfer. So let me know what you guys think. I personally think, obviously it's not 100% confirmed what the doubles are in 33, but yeah, if I was to not wildcard, I'll most likely go for Marmoush or Isak. But if I don't, let's see what I do. Let's move on to the projected doubles as well as blank game weeks in the coming weeks. As you guys can see in the projections, currently you do have the Newcastle and Palace game 100% scheduled for the game 32, where both teams will double, and then you have a 90% chance of Arsenal and Palace doubling due to the fact that Palace did beat Fulham, as I said already, and then you have 95% chance for Man City as well as Villa doubling in game 33, and small percentage that Forest and Brentford will double in 33, but they'll most likely play in 34. And then you have in game week 36 a strong possibility for Villa and Spurs to actually have a double game week due to the fact that Spurs could make it further in the Europa and Villa could go to the FA Cup final. And then you have City also, they're projected to go in the final of the FA Cup. They also like to double with Bournemouth if they go to the FA Cup final. And then there's a small chance that Forest, if they do beat City in the semi-final of the FA Cup, Forest and West Ham could double. So there's perhaps, say, minimum of 2 doubles come game week 36. Again, it's projected depending on FA Cup results and UEFA and Europa results. But there's a high chance that there will be double game weeks in 36. Another thing to note that those teams will be doubling. They will be also blanking in 37, especially the likes of Villa and City. If they double in 36, they'll be blanking in 37. So now let's look at the Planet FPL's current projection on the doubles and blanks. So if you guys look at this, as you guys can see, currently Planet FPL is projecting for both Villa and Bournemouth to blank in 37 and double in 36. Same with City to double in 36 and blank in 37, as well as Spurs to double and blank in 37. Now, this will be a very difficult thing to navigate through, because if you are loading up on the doublers too heavy, those players will blank in 37. So it's a very big challenge. So now how do we deal with that? So I've come up with a strategy with my boy FPL Stark from FPL Roundtable. Shout out to our Roundtable pod, by the way. If you didn't tune in, make sure to go check it out. We decided that we would navigate through game week 33 as well as 34 blank without free hit. And we're going to really attack 36 double with a free hit instead of, say, for example, 34 or 33, and have a pretty decent team or quite a good team in 37. We'll take some losses in, for example, 33, where we're not going to have, say, example, 12 doublers. We'll have, like, say, 8 doublers, but that's okay because we're going to make up for that in game week 36 by really attacking it. So that is the current strategy at the moment, which I'll be showing you guys my current wildcard draft, as well as how the teams will look, from game week 30 wildcard onwards to up into game week 38, which will include the navigation of double 32, double 33, blank 34, and double 36 and blank 37. I know I said a lot right there, but if you look at this fixture ticker, you'll see that there's a double in 32, double in 33, blank in 34, double in 36, and blank in 37. Again, these are projections, things can change, but these are highly likely to happen. But yeah, now let's move on to game week 30 wildcard draft. As you guys can see, based on what I've just discussed, this is the wildcard draft. Again, keep in mind, I have certain players like Cucurella, certain players like Kanate and Nico Williams, which may seem odd because they don't double anytime in the future. These players are there to specifically navigate those blank weeks that I've just mentioned in the previous section, which is 34 as well as 37. Currently, Marmoush is there, but one could argue why not Haaland, but as I said, he's injured currently. So come game 33, Haaland could be back and Marmoush becomes a rotation risk, but that's the risk you got to take if you're wildcarding this early. And second risk is the fact that the fixtures are not 100% confirmed in double game week 33. Again, which is a risk that I'm willing to take, considering that my team is in a bit of a poor situation right now with the Wood injury, Haaland injury, as well as Trent injury. And then obviously you got Gordon, who's also suspended. But again, I do not need him this week to play. I could play him the following week. So now let's look at my team from game week 30 up into game week 38. This is how it looked in game week 31. Again, team looks pretty fine, to be honest. And then in 32 double, again, I'll have 6 doublers. The team looks quite strong. And I'll be bench boosting this week, by the way. So my wildcard will be game week 30. Bench boost will be 32. As you guys can see, with Pope, Nico Williams, Cucurella, and Kluivert, great fixtures. Can't complain. Quite happy with this bench boost. And then in 33 double, I'll have 8 doublers. And I could perhaps, obviously, instead of Watkins, I could sell Gordon to get Ramsey, or I could get Rashford or Asensio or Rodgers, whoever seems to be near at the time, if Watkins is not available, and keep Isak. again, but I do think Watkins is the best asset to own from Villa. So now let's look at game week 34 blank. Again, this will be a blank game week where I'm fielding 10 players by taking one hit. Again, can't complain too much. The fact that I can field 10 players, phenomenal, right? I'm going to 35. Again, team looks pretty decent. Not the greatest fixtures for my players, but again, most teams will not have a great fixtures anyways. Moving on to 36. 36 will be the free hit, as I said already, because of doubles. And then 37 will be the blank. As you guys can see, this is my 37 team. Again, I'm fielding 11 players, pretty decent players, and have the 12th man if there's any injuries for him to come through. So again, pretty happy with 37 blank as well. And then moving on to 38, this is how the team will look. I'll have triple Arsenal. I'll most likely start Ray ahead of Pope. And then I have obviously, the likes of Clive versus Leicester, Salah, Nico Williams. So these are great assets that I still have, and Isak as well. So to end the season, I'm pretty happy with that. And I still have, 2 transfers. So let me know what you guys think. This is the current strategy at the moment. I'll go through one more time and I'll show you guys as well. So this is the current strategy as I've just went through with you guys, which is I've TC'd in game week 2, if you guys know, which is Haaland versus Ipswich. And then assistant manager in game week 24-26. And then I've navigated game week 29 blank. And then I'll walk out in game week 30, most likely, and bench boost 32 double, and navigate game week 33 double from the wildcard from 30, and then navigate game week 34 blank, free hit game week 36 double, navigate game week 37 blank. I hope that makes sense. I know I mentioned a lot right there, but I know there's a lot to take in as well. But yeah, I think there's a small graphical error. There's a small blank. I should have said game week 37. So there's a small graphical error. So we have double in 32, double in 33, blank in 34, double in 36, and then another small blank in game week 37 instead of 34. Again, it should be there. And as you guys can see, this is the current chip strategy. Now the question will be, okay, what if, because I only have the bench boost, wildcard, and the free hit left, what if you have another chip left like triple captain? You can easily triple captain in game week 32 for Isak if you wanted to, not a problem. You could triple captain in game week 36, but obviously you can't use a free hit then. So I would say probably triple captain Isak, right? And then second question would be, when do I use the system manager chip? Again, with this strategy, you can use the assistant manager from 31 to 33. It's not a problem, right? Go for Glasner, no problem, right? And another opportunity will be later in the season if you wanted to, right? But I do think Glasner is a good option. So yeah, this is the way you navigate game week 36 and 37. Absolute chaos. Hope that helped. If it did help, make sure to smash the like button. Go show love to FPL Roundtable podcast. Tune into my deadline stream. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you guys next week. Peace out.